The world is increasingly competitive. We're in a globalised marketplace. Society is being done on a global scale. Here at the University of Leeds, we're going to really focus on some essential issues about the nature of society and the nature of business. I think what's really essential to understand in this theme is that all of the projects have three things in common. First of all, they're interdisciplinary. They draw on the real discipline strengths of our university. Secondly, they're collaborative. We work with the key stakeholders in social and policy action or in business. And thirdly, we're doing this in terms of real impact, action, and making a better, more just and more equitable society. At the heart of all of our projects is the changing world in which we live in. And that is directly what the Bauman Institute is about. It's about applied social theory, it's about the macro issues, but it's about practical action.
One of the things that we do really well at the Institute and within sociology more broadly is take these kind of global level changes and translate them into the reality of people's everyday lives within their local communities. What do we do to tackle the growing gap between the rich and the poor? What do we do to address kind of gaps in knowledge around things like new financial instruments within the economy? So the economy is changing very rapidly, particularly in the context of the global recession. People are typically kind of going back to the same kind of economic model that's proven itself to be broken. We think that one of the great areas of research that we're doing at the moment is in the area of social finance innovation, but specifically how local communities can invest in assets within their local community that actually are around renewable energy, around kind of cooperative movements, so that people are kind of feeling that they're part of their community, but actually they're making their money work in different ways that are beneficial both to themselves and to other people as well. What I want to do is bring a team to Leeds that will actually generate capacity for us, because the types of challenges that we're facing require substantial research to be done. They require core social problems to be addressed, new ideas to be developed for an emerging economy, for challenges of climate change, to look at the way in which we can engage citizens with democratic processes again. These are huge questions, all under this umbrella of rethinking global society. It's a hallmark of the type of sociology that we do at the Bauman Institute, and actually making that difference in people's everyday lives is really what the Bauman Institute is all about.
We all want a more just and fairer and more equitable society. We want an ethical dimension to life, an ethical dimension to business. And our renowned Centre for Ethics needs support to take this to the next level in terms of research-informed teaching and research that directly addresses the needs of business. Thinking about our undergraduates, clearly a key dimension is employability. We have some outstanding graduates in the law school, and we want to give them that very real and practical experience of dealing with legal issues in the context of today's community and society. I think what's really fundamental about the scholarships is it gives students a chance through a placement or an internship to do something that's not to do with the corporate law world, but is something professional to do with law, but personal, something about their own interest. They might be interested in human rights law, they might be interested in disability, or they can work with an NGO or a charity to directly focus on something that's of benefit to society and of interest to themselves. It's all about giving our graduates that experience that they need as they move into the legal profession. We live in a world which is increasingly complex, increasingly diverse. The way we do society, the way we do business is becoming even more competitive. We've got a team of experts here at Leeds, and by experts, I mean experts in terms of research, experts in terms of insight and knowledge and practical experience, who are beginning to make a real difference. What we need is further support and development of capacity to bring in early career academics, postgraduates, postdoctoral fellows, additional chairs or visiting chairs to really make a difference in this field.
There's a view that writing papers and publishing is only work in progress, and what we now need to do is go beyond that and see what implications those papers have for society and I suppose improving the world in which we live. Science alone won't deliver some of the change and the impact that we are looking for, so that might be in the area of energy, water, internationalisation. Some of these areas are hugely challenging. Some directly relate to business and management, like corporate social responsibility, others less so. Now, the opportunity that Leeds University Business School has is to connect to some of these big agendas across the university. So multidisciplinarity is becoming increasingly important to us. So I think what we need to do more than we've ever done before is to still do our business studies and do our research in the area of business, but to do it in close connection with this wider context. And if we do this, I think we will best serve a new generation of academics and help them understand the context in which they need to focus their research and their agendas.
Israel and the Middle East is a key area in the world, and our vision is for a Centre for Israel Studies that can speak with authority and insight on this important area from a cultural and a political perspective. I think what we'd really want to be able to do at the heart of this theme is to engage directly, systematically and coherently across the theme with major stakeholders, people out there in society, policymakers, out there in business, innovators who can really make a difference. We don't want to be standing back on the outside. We want to be on the inside, working with those people who can really make a difference. Clearly, East Asia is a very important part of the world. It's very dynamic socially, it's dynamic politically, and it's dynamic in business terms. Our East Asia Global Challenges project is deliberately designed to address the major issues in that part of the world.
Essentially, we want to improve public knowledge on how East Asia is impacting on the world system, and especially in relation to how East Asia is impacting on the global kind of challenges that face all humanity in the 21st century. East Asia has been a rising region in the world system, especially in terms of its economic impact. We predict that East Asia will only become more important in the 21st century and have greater impact upon us all, whether it's climate change, global energy security, how we reduce global poverty, how we manage resource competition issues. But in a globalizing world also, we do find that people are beginning to see where there are commonalities and where consensus can be built. You know, slowly, but we have to take into account the very significant differences that still exist between different societies in different parts of the world. So part of the project really is trying to devise ways in which greater understanding can be brought about between East Asia and us here in Europe and other parts of the world.
I've been in business best part of 40 years now, and it was obvious for me to get involved with a business school, and scholarships are a natural thing, I guess, for a business person to do. And the students have been great. I see them when I come up here to teach, and they send reports, and it's all pretty informal and relaxed, but I think it's made a difference. It's made a difference to them, and I definitely have learned something in the process as well.
So what we're trying to do here at Leeds is to develop a centre for excellence.
What we're interested in as an entire school is to shape and influence social policy agendas, bringing these ideas into the real world so they can be of practical benefit to people in their ordinary everyday lives.
Business exists in a context, and the context is around the nature of some pretty significant grand challenges.
To be able to actually do the work here so we can make that practical benefit not just at a national level but within our own community as well.
You see, at the heart of this is our research expertise, but also our first-hand practical experience of the world that will bring to bear on issues of society and business that will really help us make a difference.
There are more different faculties on this campus than any other in the UK. There's always something new going on. Come up here, talk to the deans, talk to the staff, talk to the students, find out what's going on, pursue your interests. You're bound to find something that interests you, and if you find something that interests you, help out and support the campaign.